everyone, it's Maki here. Are you enjoying the movie Gundam Seed Freedom? The cool battle scenes and conversations between the characters are captivating many fans. This time, the content contains spoilers for the movie. If you'd rather watch the movie without prior information, I recommend that you watch this program after watching the movie. Today I will talk about the piloting skills of the pilots, which I observed carefully in the movie, and the thoughts of the characters, which were added in the novel version. The enemy, Black Knight Squad Shiver, is a formidable opponent. They can read your mind and attack you. But don't worry. By pressing the subscribe button displayed on your screen, you can leave the operation of your computer to Cagalli. You will surely be able to win. Let's focus on the duel between Shura and Athrun. The bond between Athrun and Cagalli also plays a crucial role in this battle. Let's analyze what Mr. Fukuda said next. Athrun, Cagalli, and Marin had a meeting beforehand. They had agreed to activate the remote control system when they called each other's names. When Athrun calls Cagalli's name, he imagines her sexy figure. This strategy is to prevent Shura from reading their tactics. It's unclear how much of the strategy was communicated during the meeting. Athrun mentally imagines evading to the left, which would be to the right from Shura's perspective. Then Cagalli makes an evasive maneuver to the right. Presumably, Athrun had instructed her to evade to the right as soon as control is transferred. This is my personal interpretation, of course. The direction of the dodge may not have been communicated in advance, and the combination of Athrun and Cagalli's teamwork may have confused Shura. At this point, Infinite Justice is being piloted by Cagalli. Note Cagalli's extremely advanced piloting technique. She throws the beam saber she was holding in her right hand into the air, catches it with her left hand, and then holds a railgun in her right hand. She performs this action at the same time as the dodge. Immediately after dodging Shura's attack, she shoots the Black Knight Squad's right arm and rear thruster. The railgun also seems to have a rapid-fire function. If I'm not mistaken, she fired 3 rounds. While dodging Shura's attack, Cagalli switches weapons and lands precise shots on the enemy's critical components. The Black Knight Squad, which lost its arm and engine, suffered heavy damage. Cagalli is often thought to have inferior piloting skills compared to the protagonists. However, an analysis of her technique in this scene reveals her extremely high fighting ability, and the Black Knight Squad Shiver is defeated by Infinite Justice. Remember the line Athrun says when he activates the head-mounted beam saber? Strength is not superiority in battle. Strength is having the will to live. The translation may vary from region to region, but that is the gist of what he is saying. These words may sound like a negation of Shura's words, but it's not just that. The meaning of these words is described in the novel. Athrun ponders Shura's words in his heart to be a strong being is the value of my existence. Shura thinks that he was taught such values and lived for that reason. Has no one taught Shura that there is value in simply living? Athrun was told by Cagalli that life itself is a struggle. Shura was told by no one. Athrun fought as a soft soldier, believing that his value was in defeating enemies and being a strong soldier. The words after Athrun's are spoken by Lars crying had a strong effect on him. Shura might have been a possibility that Athrun could have fallen into. Even if one lacks the strength to fight being alive, no matter what form of life, is wonderful. Being weak or dishonorable doesn't make one's existence any less valuable, a lesson Shura was never taught. Maybe similar to the past Athrun, who was ready to throw away his life along with the sins of his father, Patrick's order. While feeling pity for Shura, Athrun activates the head-mounted beam saber. Athrun could not afford to lose either. What was Shura thinking in the moment of defeat? He is engulfed in flames with the sentiment for war. Shura, like Athrun and Kira, had similar feelings. He was a person who vowed to fight desperately for those he loved. His misfortune was that he was only heavily indoctrinated with the self-righteous values that Dora taught him. Yzak Jewel and Dark Elseman share a strong bond of trust with Athrun. Let's analyze Yzak's emotions and scenes that were cut from the movie. Yzak tries to convince Hali Jagannath, the commander of the Soft Rebel forces. Dark advises him persuasion is futile, but Yzak finds the prospect of launching an attack frightening. Jagannath's battleship approaches the millennium. I have not forgotten the blood and grudges of the dead. Jagannath shouts as he attempts to attack the millennium. What was Jagannath thinking at that moment? The novel adds this: he remembers the soldiers who died under his command. He remembers those who fought desperately believing they could change the world and died for it. He doesn't want their deaths to be in vain. That's why he fights. Although there are discriminatory feelings toward Natos, Jagannath also fought seriously and with genuine emotion. If he were only seeking his own benefit or power, he wouldn't need to appear on the battlefield. He could simply give orders from a safe place, like the former Rogos. But Jagannath personally goes to the dangerous battlefield. He goes to the front lines and challenges the enemy. This is the tragic and terrifying aspect of war. Not all are simply villains pursuing their own interests. Jagannath is portrayed in the film as an easily understandable villain. However, he too could have been a respectable person with a kind heart. Many take up arms out of serious and sincere feelings. Yzak and Dark address Jagannath with sad expressions. We have not forgotten. That is why we must stop such foolish acts. Yzak suffers as he watches the flames from the explosion of Jagannath's battleship. The bloodshed here is also a precious existence. That's why we must break the chain of misfortune. Yzak had a period where he was obsessed with revenge. In the Sid novel, there are scenes where he struggles deeply when he sees the faces of his allies committing brutal acts, or his own face reflected in the mirror. Yzak may have seen his former self in Jagannath. The novel version also adds a bit about the final battle. It shows the scene where Athrun after defeating Shura and Yzak after defeating Jagannath meet. Yzak yells at Athrun in a stern tone. You, what have you been doing all this time? Although his tone was very harsh, Athrun takes Yzak's words as a kind of greeting. It is reminiscent of the scene in Sea Destiny, where Athrun and the others meet at Junior 7. Infinite Justice and Dual Blitz work together to defeat enemies one by one. Lightning Buster also assists the two. After the Foundation and the Soft Rebels are defeated, Destiny Gundam and Impulse Gundam equipped with Meteor Rush to Requiem. It's a bit disappointing that their heroic deeds were cut from the movie. Let's hope that additional scenes of their exploits will be included in the Blu-ray disc. After the final battle, Yzak, Darker, and Athrun talk to each other. The hard part starts now, Duraka says, thinking about getting the soft rebels to surrender and dealing with the aftermath. What are you going to do now? Yzak asks Athrun. I will continue to do the same thing, Athrun answers. Even though they belong to different organizations or live in different places, they realize that they trust each other, and so the scene with Yzak and his companions ends. Many may worry about what will happen to the soft rebels after the war. If Yzak and Yzark are there, they too can reflect on their mistakes and learn. They too are sincere about their comrades and have decided to fight, risking their own lives. Thank you for watching the program to the end. Let's meet again in the next episode.